Good morning, friends. In the previous lecture, we completed numerical on spur gear, and now we are moving forward to the helical gear. To understand all equations to strengthen the teeth of helical gear, we should understand the terminology used for the helical gear. And for that, we are using a helical gear, and we are using its cross section. First one is transverse plane, and on second one is on normal plane. Transverse plane are cut at in this direction, and normal plane section are cut normal to the teeth. So the enlarged view is shown in here. This is normal plane. This is for normal plane, and this is for the transverse plane. This section is known as NN, section NN, normal section, and this is section TT, transverse plane. Now we all know few terms, that pressure angle and pitch, but here we have to use pitch and pressure angle for transverse plane as well as normal plane. So it is for the transverse plane, all terms denoted by T. We will put T in suffix, and for the normal plane we will put N. Now in helical gear terminology, we will see all this terminology. But before that, just quick view on helical gear. In helical gear, the teeth are cut at the angle. This angle known as helix angle, and helical gear are used to transmit power between two parallel shafts. But why we have a one gear, spur gear, for the parallel shaft? Why we are using helical gear? Because in spur gear, the contact between the two meshing teeth, theoretically a line extending along entire face width and parallel to the axis. So in spur gear, two teeth on the gear are meshed in a line on entire face. But this is the sudden line contact result in the impact. So in spur gear, we are transferring force by impact, which in turn create higher dynamic load at a high pitch line velocity. If our pitch line velocity is large or high, the impact is more, which create dynamic load and also generate a noise. But these things can be eliminated by the helical gear, in which the contact between the meshing teeth begin at a point contact and gradually extending as a line contact along the diagonal across the tooth. As the teeth are cut at angle, so in helical gear we start with one point, the contact start with one point and gradually extending to the line contact. So this reduces the high dynamic load. So the dynamic load in helical gear is low. That's why less noise or no noise produced at a high pitch line velocity. That's why we are using helical gear. The limitation of helical gear are it creates axial thrust as the teeth are at angle, so a small portion of axial thrust is transferred to the shaft, and it is also costly than the spur gear. So now we will start the terminology. Helix angle we already discussed. The helix angle are angle made by the helix with the axis of rotation, or an angle made by the teeth with the axis of rotation. So we will see one by one terminology in figure also. So this is the helix angle. We know that this is the axis of rotation, and this line is for the teeth. So the angle between these two is known as helix angle. Generally, for the single helical gear, the helix angle is 15 degree to 30 degree, while the double helical gear or herringbone gear generally we are use to reduce the axial thrust of first gear. So in herringbone gear we will use two helical gear, one is left handed, other is right handed, so that the axial thrust can be vanished. So in herringbone gear the axial helix angle is generally 12.5 to 30 degree centigrade, 30 degree. When the helical gear is placed on we have two types of helical gear. One is right handed gear and other is left handed gear. So when the helical gear is placed on a surface with a axis vertical, if the teeth are inclined toward the right, if we put helical gear vertically, and if the teeth inclination is toward the right side, then we can say this is the right hand gear, and if this inclination toward left side, it is known as left hand gear. Now next one is transverse circular pitch. We already see in figure that there is two plane, one is transverse plane and second one is normal plane. So for both we have a different pitch and module. So transverse circular pitch, which is denoted by PT, and transverse module, which is denoted by MT. So PT is pi d upon Z, and MT is equal to PT by pi, and we all know the transverse module or module is equal to d by Z. Second one is normal circular pitch and normal module. The circular pitch measured in normal plane is called normal pitch. So the relation between normal pitch and circular pitch is Mn is equal to Pn upon pi. Now to find the relation between normal module or a normal pitch, normal circular pitch, and transverse circular pitch, we will consider a triangle ABC. So coming to the figure, here we are putting one triangle. This is the A point of this triangle, and AB is the transverse pitch, whereas AC is the normal pitch which is on the normal plane. So the length of AC is same as the pitch on normal plane, and the length of AB is same as pitch in transverse plane. So we will consider this angle, this triangle A, B and C, in which the C is the right angle and angle A is psi. Psi is used for the helix angle. So from this triangle we can say that the cos psi is equal to AC, it is adjacent side, upon AB, it is hypotenuse. So for from the triangle ABC we can say that AC upon AB is equal to cos psi. We already discussed the AC is Pn and AB is Pt. So Pn upon Pt is equal to cos psi. So we can write Pn is equal to Pt cos psi. Same we can write for the module, Mn is equal to Mt cos psi. So these two relation we will use in numerical. Now next one is axial pitch. For the axial pitch, it is distance between the corresponding point on the adjacent teeth measured on pitch surface in a axial direction. So in axial direction, one point on the one teeth and second point on adjacent teeth, the distance between these 2 points is known as axial pitch. And axial pitch is denoted by PA. So for that, to find the relation between axial pitch and transverse pitch, we will use triangle ABD. So going to the figure, and here we already plot 2 points A and B, and the third point is D, which is at a axial pitch PA, at a distance of axial pitch PA. So we will consider this triangle A, D and B, in which this angle is psi and this is the right angle. So tan phi, from this triangle we can write tan phi is equal to AB upon AD, as AB is the opposite side and AD is adjacent side. So from the figure we can say that AB, we can write PT in place of AB and PA in place of AD. So PT upon PA is equal to tan psi. So for the axial pitch we can write PA is equal to PT upon tan psi. Now moving forward, we already discussed the pressure angle. So for the transverse, if we measure the pressure angle in transverse plane, it is known as transverse pressure angle. If we measure the pressure angle on normal plane, so it is known as normal pressure angle. So for both pressure angle we can write this relation: tan phi t is equal to tan phi n upon cos psi. Phi t is for the pressure angle in transverse plane, phi n is for pressure angle in normal plane. And the last one is face width. We all know that if the this is the gear, helical gear, then the distance between two ends is, or width, is known as face width, denoted by B. Thank you.